everybody. So I had the experience yesterday of going to see Garry Marshall's new movie, Mother's Day. And I wasn't planning on seeing it. I thought I was going to do a screening. It turned out I went to the wrong day and everything was sold out. And so I went and saw Mother's Day. Oh my gosh. I'd heard bad things about this. I haven't liked either of his other two holiday movies where he gets all of these different stories and all these different people together, but I figured, what the heck, I'll go see it. And this is worse than New Year's Eve. It's worse than Valentine's Day. And it is a really offensive, awful movie. I wrote on my Facebook page that I said, so Mother's Day knows nothing about childhood, step parenting, Republicans, asthma, stand-up comedy, wig selection, interracial marriage, and worst of all, Mother's Day. And that's the thing that's amazing about this movie. It has all of these stories of all of these women, and it doesn't get to the core of why Mother's Day might be a stressful holiday for mothers. There's actually very little time spent actually sort of worrying about motherhood. Have most of the time spent on Jennifer Aniston, who is going through a divorce, and so that's sort of a couple-y issue. There's a little bit with her kids, but not really, and dealing with the new wife and her jealousy issues. And then you have Kate Hudson and Sarah Chalke, whose parents are rednecks from Texas. And this just shows the kind of people that Hollywood thinks Republicans are, because even the way they were dressed, and they're from Texas, and these people were such horrible people. They were such awful, offensive, horrible. Like, it's not like a Cousin Eddie from National Lampoons or something, like the lovable redneck. No, this is outright offensive, horrible. We're gonna say awful things. I mean, they call a man a towel head who's literally just, it's not like, it's like, I can imagine, I don't know, like an old person saying like something, grumbling under things about Asian drivers, or, you know, something like that's the kind of thing my grandpa would say, but not to some stranger that he's just met who's walking into a room and he's gonna say it loud like that. Like, that's crazy. And they're just so offensive. They're so awful. And it's just unbelievable. I can't even believe that it's not supposed to be funny, and it just feels really uncomfortable. Okay, then you have Britt Robertson, who is engaged, living with this man. They've been living together for 5 years, but she's so insecure about being adopted, even though from everything you could hear that she had a perfectly happy life, and she has the information of her birth mother, but she's just like too insecure, I guess, to go and talk to her. And she's a mother, and it's, again, another example of, like, it's really not about mothering. It's about, I don't know, her relationship with this guy. And of course her mother ends up being Julia Roberts, who has this terrible wig, and she's this like H&N kind of celebrity, which I really don't think that exists. Like, maybe Lori Greiner, but I don't think there's anybody on QVC or HSN as far as a host that's like so famous, you know, that she's like drawing in crowds and stuff. And anyway, and then what else? Oh, then there's Jason Sudeikis, who has 2 kids, whose wife died in the war. He's like grieving over her, and he has some of the only sincere parts of the movie, and he made me laugh twice. And it's funny because of all the mothering that's actually done in the movie is mostly done by him. The kids are just an afterthought for the most part in this film, and which is really funny. And interesting is that Garry Marshall directed a movie called Raising Helen, and that movie is not perfect. It's pretty schmaltzy, but it's much better than this, and it is actually a much better movie about motherhood than this movie. That movie, you have Joan Cusack, who is a homemaker and who is raising a family. That's interesting. You have no homemakers in this film. You have actually no working mothers, really, that are, you think that there would be sort of this kind of this showing how mothers are conflicted, how homemakers feel bad about not working, and working women feel bad on Mother's Day about not being with their kids. You really don't have any of that, and which is just, it's stunning. And so in Raising Helen, Joan Cusack's character, she is a mother, and she's a very doting homemaker, and she has like 6 kids or something like that. And then Kate Hudson is this single girl, and she's very like free spirited and whatever. And their sister dies, and Helen, the Kate Hudson character, ends up getting the kids from the will of her sister, and they can't figure out why they wouldn't have given the kids to the Joan Cusack character, who's the really maternal mother. And so that movie actually has way more interesting sort of ideas and, you know, relationships and envy between the 2 sisters, and kind of envying each other's lives and what they have and their mothering abilities. And I know so many women who feel very guilty about Mother's Day. I don't like it because I'm not a mother, and I feel guilty. I feel bad. I feel sad that I'm not a mother. I know so many women who feel like they weren't adequate mothers, and here's a chance to like actually make them laugh and kind of poke fun at some of the insecurities and some of the problems that mothers have. And instead, Garry Marshall has decided to throw out racist characters with bizarre slapstick and with scenes that don't even make sense. And it's just so badly written. The acting is not good, and it just, you don't care about any of these characters because you're not with them long enough in the story. And most of the characters are super judgy and really obnoxious, and it's just unbelievable. You have this potential for this platform, and instead you just do this horrible movie. And I was really offended by it, and I just say, I mean, I actually thought about taking my mom to see this movie because I thought it might be kind of fun, like the 2 of us could review it, because she was in town. And I ended up, I just couldn't do it to her because doesn't go to that many movies, and so I wouldn't want like her 2 movies a year, one of them to be Mother's Day, and be this horrible movie. And thank goodness I didn't. So yeah, Mother's Day gets an F. It was horrible, and it was really offensive, and it's really dumb. It didn't make me laugh, and instead just stay at home and watch Raising Helen. At least that has some things to say about motherhood and some decent storytelling going on. So yeah, Garry Marshall can do it. He's done it in the past, but he needs to stop doing these holiday movies. They are awful. And yeah, that's what I have to say. So let me know if you saw Mother's Day. What did you think? Put in the comment section, and thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you later. Bye.